My podcast is not going well.
Your weight loss?
My weight loss challenge.
How was that?
Oh, did you do that yesterday?
Yes. Apology.
Freudian.
Just
Paging Dr. Freud.
What's the TRT on it?
high.
You don't want it high.
High.
What's the TSL?
How are the hosts?
Low. High.
TRT is total runtime.
Oh. Shorter than last week.
Okay.
But not to the delight of the fans. They said not short enough yet. Shorten it down.
But you're getting there.
Last week's 37 minutes. This week was 28. But the fans said shorter. We want it shorter. We want less.
What do you think is the reaction when their email dings to your other league members that there's a new pod? Like,
God.
Because I think they're like, I have to. They're making me listen to it.
We call it Podcaps. It's the recaps of this week's fantasy football league. And cut it yesterday. Had some technical issues. Did it. Got it out there. And yeah, I'd say it went just okay.
May I ask? I know everyone in this room has worked in this industry for a long, long time, and there's a phrase that you learn in this business called production values.
Yeah,
production values would be something as simple as what Biggie dug up the music we had for the Queen,
correct,
or Chris Kelly finding bagpipe music when we were talking about bagpipes.
Right.
Those are added little just pieces of audio to this little melange that we do of sound. Are there production values on what do you call it? Podkids?
Podcaps, not podkids. Podcaps.
Podcaps.
I'd say a little bit. We probably need to work in more.
Is it copyrighted? Is that illegal?
It is copyrighted. We don't want
the NFL. Hey, kids! Time for the odd caps.
Podcaps. Podcaps.
I can't wait until you get a cease and desist letter from another podcast called Podcaps, which is all about hats.
Could be. Gee, I'm worried about that too. There could be some cease and desist. Luckily, so few people listen to this.
Right, we'll never hear it.
You'll never hear it. It's private. It's really an email blast. Is all it is.
Is it whimsical? What's the tone?
I think we need a meeting about tone because I think it's somewhat whimsical. I try to make it whimsical. I think the other guys are a little more serious about
more X's and O's.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this? Is it hard working with amateurs?
Ask them.
Well, because I know how you can get when people don't take certain cues, either when you're looking or
no. We're just friends.
Yeah,
and
they don't know your looks like we know your looks.
Right. It's like I have to just remember this is just for a few people and for fun. Let's just go through it and get it done.
Yeah,
it's not like we're trying to do anything.
Ass and giggles, as we used to say. Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you say you're going to have a meeting?
We have meetings every week, production meetings every week about.
That's not fun.
So I'm gonna bring it up at the next meeting.
You've taken the fun out of it.
That was my suggestion. We have a conference call the night before on what we're going to do. Have a meeting, and so next week. Now we're on vacation, so I'm coming in special to do it. I'm coming in.
Are you kidding?
No,
you can't just marry your phones together.
No,
there's got to be a way.
Maybe, but we wanted the production. We wanted it to sound, nice. Sorry.
Hey, everybody, I'm Kelly. He's Coop.
Please. We're not giving out the names now. We're not giving out the names.
Nobody's listening. Who cares?
No, sir.
And we can't have them marry their phones together. They'd be too powerful.
You mean like touching the screen?
Yeah. With our powers combined.
I'll just say, one of the reviews was, "My God, this is boring," and that was from one of the hosts.
Not during, I hope.
During the first week, he's like, "This is so long, so boring. I've got a meeting. He's got a real job."
So how does it end up? Do you kind of do the team?
That's
like the top 10, the rankings.
Yeah, we do that. We each look at specific games, and then we say, "Okay, who's most likely to win and lose this week?" That kind of thing. And then at the end, but the ending needs something on it too. It's
a little
just
more pizzazz.
At the end, I just go, "Well, all right, we're done. All right, is that everybody? Everybody got anything? That's it." And then my friend will say, "Well, I got a meeting. I got to get out of here," and that's it. It needs something more.
Just peters out.
It peters. It peters. But listen, it's work in progress.
How was the?
You could call it peters out.
That's it.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the top.
Peters out.
right, everybody.
Yeah.
Peter's out.
Let's go.
Now you're going to get listeners with that.
Peter's out.
Just with the name.
I guarantee a cease and desist letter comes from Peter's Out, which is a group of men who expose themselves in parks.
Yep.
All the male-seeking males.
Yep.
Hey,
They have way more
this
listeners.
is not what I thought it was.
Yeah, they do have an awareness
then
group.
we'll get some actual listeners to this thing.
You'll get clicks, but you won't get return.
I know. You're right. You're exactly right. Speaking of football, there's an apology that's been issued now by the quarterback of the North Carolina Tar Heels. That's a school I claim to have gone to.
Yeah.
I didn't go there, but I claim it. They got a big game against Notre Dame this week. Tar Heels have started 3-0, and their quarterback, Drake May, first-year quarterback, is getting a lot of good reviews. I mean, he's throwing a lot of touchdown passes, but they haven't gotten to the teeth of their schedule yet. He was being asked about what it's like to play in North Carolina and rivalries against other teams like NC State, and he said something he now admits I shouldn't have said.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't want to miss out on the home state. Whether you want to admit it or not, growing up in Carolina, you're going to be a Carolina fan. And some people may say state, but really people go to state just can't get into Carolina. So
people go to state, can't get into Carolina. All right. Well, the Wolfpack took some exception to that.
Yeah.
And I would correct him too. I went to Appalachian because I couldn't. Okay.
You head west.
All
Excuse
right.
me, several of us went to other schools.
Okay, right. Drake was chastised by coaches and online fans, and he came back and said, "That's not who I am. I apologize. I totally
Do you
respect
happen to
him."
know, Kelly, where those two schools will play this year? Will it be in Raleigh? Because he's going to get dragged mercilessly
He is.
if the game is at stake.
Sometimes they used to play in Charlotte. Let me look at the Tar Heel schedule this year
Oh, look at you, have it right there at your fingertips.
and see. Let's just see.
Not your own school.
Where where they play this year. That's a good question. Nope, they're in Chapel Hill this year.
Okay.
Day after Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Ready. Let's get ready for it.
you'll be there.
All right, Peter's out, everybody.
Peter's out. You've got to change the name of this.
Peter's out. Let's get Peter's out. Let's go. I won't be there. I'll be there in spirit, as I so often am on these things.
That's good to know.
I'll likely be watching Michigan, Ohio State that day, but I'll be with the Tar Heels in spirit, as you know.
You'll be reacting to the crawl
Yes, I'll be reacting to
in
the
the corner
call.
of the screen.
Drake May has lit up the scoreboard, but now he says, I got to get control of my mouth now.
Yeah.
I apologize to my cross-city rivals.
Yeah,
there.
he was going for the slap on that.
He was, yeah. Just a few miles down the road. Now, that'll be on the bulletin board over at North Carolina State.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And
yeah.
For his whole time there.
Of course it will. Absolutely right.
I mean, you can't go to Carolina for some things. You just can't. You want to be a veterinarian?
You got to go to NC State.
You want to be an engineer?
You got to go to NC State.
That's it.
That's right. You want to be a radio producer? You got to go to GTCC.
Old GT by the CC.
Absolutely.
You got to go to community college. This kid right
For
here.
like a full week. And
That's
it's
right.
not, don't think you can just,
That's right.
Skate through?
No.
Yeah.
By the way, Drake May was set to go to Alabama and then changed his mind. I didn't realize that.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh,
His family,
yeah.
his brother played basketball at UNC, so that's where he wound up. This is the story from New England now. This is a big deal right outside of Boston. The neighborhood is called Woburn, and for 2 years they have been living in horror, a horror story, because of some wild turkeys, a flock that has settled right there in this neighborhood. One woman told her story to the news there. Megan Tolson is her name, and she says, they come up to the side of my car and try to get in all the time, and it's so difficult. I'm trying to get them to move on, but there's not much I can do. They've even called animal control, and they're like, we can't really do anything.
They can't?
They say, we cannot do
I bet
anything.
you can't kill them.
That's what they can't do is kill them. This is an encounter that this woman, Megan Tolson, had with one of the turkeys.
He's right there. He's pecking at my car.
That's a... And she was listening to the radio,
He's right there. He's pecking at my car.
opening her car door, and the bird was coming right up to her. They have no fear, apparently.
Are they in the heat?
No, it's been 2 years like that. It's just like all the time. They're just very aggressive.
They're just territorial.
It's just territorial. I guess that's all it is, yeah. And they have, by the way, raised more young. They started with 2, and now there are 5. She says she named one of them Kevin.
It started with one turkey, and his name's Kevin. I named him. I feel like Kevin kind of like hypes him up, and he's like, let's chase these people. And they're like, Let's do it.
They do. They do.
Probably is what they say.
You heard what happened.
Megan v. Kevin.
And when they chase,
He's right there. He's packing at my car.
so difficult
That
for
song
them.
sounds familiar and yet not.
I know, I'm not sure exactly what it is. NBC 10 did the story on this. They found some neighbors, a young person who lives in the neighborhood.
They're up at 6 in the morning in my lawn, start chasing us, trying to pop the tires. It's wild.
They go after the tires of the car. He goes out to school and he says he walks out to the mailbox or
In
to the
terror.
car in complete terror every day because you never know when they're going to be around. Here are some teen girls that live down the street.
A turkey was literally at my front door, and I opened it, and I was like, oh my God. And I'm like slowly backing away from it. I was like freaking out. We were beeping at them. They don't care. They don't care. They have like some serious personality.
They don't care. There's a lot of serious personality in that neighborhood.
Sounds like it.
It's an uneasy existence right now.
Right now. And Dave, I think you'd like this. You work local news. The reporter, I wrote his name down, Oscar McGrain, wanted to have a little fun, so he was going to interview one of the turkeys, Kevin.
We tried reasoning with them in their language, but wanted nothing to do with us.
All right, which one of you is Kevin? Hey, you want to talk to us? Why are you running away from my questions? Hey, turkeys, where do you hail from?
Oscar Margain, NBC 10 Boston.
And
Oscar.
that's the way he finished up the report, about the last 30 seconds of it there. But they're all saying, we honk our horns, we try to walk quickly, but that's about all we can do so far. And Animal Control says, I can't kill them. They tried to relocate, they just keep coming back. They keep coming back to that area. And
What the answer is?
Kevin's the ringleader. Yeah, I don't either. Wild turkeys. I don't either. And many of the neighborhood said, we'll be glad when Thanksgiving gets here so we can
If
eat.
you know what I mean.
You know, that's right.
Of course. Take them over to Plymouth Rock.
That's exactly right.
So wild turkey's a fine drink if you drink it slow.
Right. Anyway, they're dealing with that in Boston. In Detroit, we had an accident over the weekend as well. A hoverboard rider was above the Detroit River. There's an auto show going on there, and they had closed down a portion of the river so he could show off a demonstration of the hoverboard. It was really something.
It was. If you've seen like the Spider-Man movie with the Green Goblin, it's like his hoverboard is, he's on it like a surfboard, and it's got like 4 or 5 different like propulsion pieces underneath it.
Yeah.
And it worked for a moment.
I thought it was really something for a while. Yeah, maybe a minute. He's flying around above the river, a pretty good ways. Then you can tell the moment when it stops working. There's the splashdown. What kind of monster would laugh at something like this?
I love stuff like this.
It's Coast Guard and 2 Coast Guard
That
boats.
were both very quickly there.
Near him.
Is that a cutter there?
There's nothing better than watching people go from just awe to just
Yeah. And
oh, look at him up there. Oh my God. Bam.
we edited that for time. He was up for a while.
Correct.
And then, and the moment Biggie loves most in about 3 seconds.
Wait,
Oh, no. And then scrambling, what's going to happen? Here come the boats. That's Coast Guard.
and I was thinking too. I mean, if you're a surfer, surfboards are built to float. If you get tossed off your board, that floats. Canoes float. Those kind of things. But I bet he was probably strapped to that thing, and I bet it was very heavy.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet he was sinking fast.
I was surprised he came up to the top of the. I was
Did he?
surprised. Yes,
He popped off?
at the end. He popped up. I don't know if it was built for him to pop off of it, but he had his head above water as the Coast Guard came to get him, and they were quick to go get him too.
Is his machinery at the bottom of the Detroit River?
No, it was floating too. I saw the top of
Really?
it out. Yeah, and he was. I don't know if he was still
Okay.
attached to it, but it must have been designed.
Pretty
to
good
float.
thinking.
Yeah, I'd say
The way it's designed.
So that's called a hoverboard, just like the thing we used to ride up and down the hallways is called a hoverboard. Same type of technology. But he was,
But
of
this
course,
literally hovers.
yeah, way in the air.
But his engine petered out.
That's my show. Petered Out. Peters Out is the new name of my podcast. It's called Peters Out, and
A lighthearted look at fantasy football.
It's jovial.
well, it's jovial. It should be more jovial than it is. I'm not.
Are you working on it?
I'm not jovial enough for it. That's my problem.
It's a work in progress.
I, as usual, take the fun. I suck the fun out of
You're very
everything.
serious.
There's a guy who wanted to have some fun. This is a similar type thing now. And Chris Demm said, and he's right, they should have kept the camera rolling longer. This is in Italy. And a guy had just gotten married to his bride, and he wanted to surprise her by coming up and doing a trick or two on a dirt bike, and he was coming around the corner. The bride was there waiting for him, as were members of the wedding party, filming him, and man, did he have a tough time in crashing that dirt bike. Now, you'll know this. Now, Big, you'll laugh heartily, I'm sure, when he crashes the bike. And he's down. And then they stopped the...
I mean, he ate.
I mean, he did. He really did. And he broke his collarbone. And he was sitting there in the street, like, holding... And then the camera stopped. I guess somebody did run to his aid. And so they stopped the camera. So we didn't get to see what happened after that. But what kind of monster?
I don't know. In a sling.
What kind of
just
monster
you get what you get.
laughs at something like that?
And it wasn't... And, I mean, he was on a paved road.
Yeah.
You know, he just kind of cornered too quickly or too tightly.
Yeah.
And the front wheel went too far one way, and he tumbled off.
Yeah, and he had that just a little jerk type move, and then he was off. And